everyone, and welcome to another episode of Chump Change, the post show where we talk about the truth behind the lies. And I'm once again joined by Alana, Matt, Sam, and Gus. Welcome back, all. We have some stories to go over.
Here.
Yeah, it's crazy. Eric could not be here. He was just exhausted from the scorekeeping.
Calculating.
The calculator overheated and burned his hand. He had to go get medical attention.
He's actually getting surgery right now. Skin graft. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Give him some love. He needs it. Send him. Say you did a great job. So some of the only lies. In the envelope game, we had Matt and Sam's stories swish. I think before we hear more about the underground club, let's hear about you. I knew this going into the show. You brought it up to me before, but you are a black belt. And how do you pronounce your arts? What is it?
I mean, I'm wherever we were was the South, so it was Taekwondo for me as well.
The follow-up question I would have asked, but I ran out of time, was what does Taekwondo stand for? What does it mean?
Oh man, you would have totally thought I was lying when I said I don't remember.
You don't know? You don't know what it means?
No, not
you know
off the top of my head.
I think it means like foot fist way.
That sounds right. I don't know. I learned it, didn't learn the lore.
Sounds right.
You just always seem like you're lying, even when you're not.
I know.
Well, the thing.
Trust me, it's a problem.
It's just Matt knows so little about the world around him.
I'm very in the moment. Like,
right?
I don't want to like figure out any of this other complicated shit.
It seems like you have a trait which is like you take things at like as they're given to you, right? It's like you just like someone tells you like, all right, yeah, sure, and then there's no like scratching down, be like, wait a minute.
Nah, I don't need to worry about it.
Which is why a stranger could have led him to an underground club. I feel like that's the total possibility for Matt.
20 steps down.
But, it's a lot of stairs.
The place I was referencing was down some stairs. I didn't count them.
The place, yeah. But Matt, how long did it take to get your black belt, Matt?
I think it was around 7 or 8 years. It's been a while. I quit doing it in college, but so yeah, Sam was pretty dead on a lot of that.
I would have said the same thing. It was like the 14 to 17. I was like, oh, that's good.
Sam's like the polar opposite of you, Matt, in that Sam knows a lot about things that didn't happen to him. Like he just knows a lot of facts and like little tidbits and stuff.
But it works out when I'm telling the truth because you don't believe me.
Exactly.
Perfect.
It's what makes Sam so believable is he always has these little extra facts. He's like, oh, and by the way, the stone was made out of this.
That's like facts, man. What can I say?
So Sam, the club, the illegal underground club, what happened? How'd you end up there?
So I was in Detroit for a convention, and we got kicked out of a bar, and we asked a guy who was like right outside, where should we go? Because we weren't from Detroit or anything. And little did we know we were in like Juggalo territory, and like, because it's Detroit, I guess that's where they're from. The tip off should have been like the bar was just like literally every drink was like this liquor and some Faygo. So it was like, clearly it's Juggalo town. But anyways, so he tells us to go to this place. He's like, it's kind of hard to find. You have to ask a guy at a gate when you get there, and like they'll let you through. And we were like, okay, whatever. We got the address and we got an Uber, and it looked like an old warehouse district. And there's like literally the street light is like fucking flickering. There's nothing around, and there's a guy behind a fence. It's not a gate. And he's just like, hey, what are you guys doing here? And we're like, we're looking for this place that somebody told us we could go have a good time at. And he's like, okay. Do you have cash? And we're like, yeah. And then so he just lifts up the chain link fence and we go through, and he's like, all right, you come this way. And yeah, it was like, imagine an old dilapidated warehouse. Literally there's hay on the floor because the roof had leaks in it, and like water was coming through, and that way you wouldn't slip on the dance floor. So the whole floor was just covered in hay. The only furniture was like, they had like a camping, like the VIP section, what it was just like camping furniture, and camping gazebo like you would buy at Walmart, just like in a corner. And then, so everyone who worked there was full Juggalo, right? Full Juggalo. And then, so yeah, we gave them some money, and they gave us carnival tickets, and we were like, that's fucking weird. Like, I don't know. And then, so, yeah, we asked, like, one of the people working there, like, what the fuck are these carnival tickets? They're like, oh, go give them to the lady at the counter. And then we're like, here are carnival tickets. And she's like, what do you want? And we're like, I don't know what I want. Like, a drink and some stuff. And she's like, y'all don't know what's going on. Y'all haven't been here, right? We're like, no. She's like, here, just give me some tickets. And we were like, okay. And then she's like, somebody will find you in a little bit. And we just like hung out on like a weird corner. And so a guy comes over with drinks, which were terrible. I think it was just like vodka and soda. That was like the cheapest vodka ever. In a whole thing of balloons, right? And so we're just like, this is weird as fuck.
You didn't see these drinks get poured? And you still drank them?
No.
Were you trying to die?
Yeah.
We were trying to have a good time. Get drunk for sure. And then so we're just standing there with balloons. Like, why the fuck did this person just give us a bunch of balloons? And then, like, how incriminating do we get on post shows these days?
Oh god.
Anyway,
is the statute of limitations up or not?
Yeah, probably. I mean, whatever. It's Detroit. And so we look at this guy, and this guy is just like next to us. And he's like, nice. And we're like, what's like? He's clearly can tell we're lost. And he's like, they're full of nitrous, man. You got to suck them. And we're like, okay, so that's the kind of bar we're in.
Yeah.
And then we noticed at the end of the balloon string there was a little joint tied to it, and it was like, all right, this is certainly a place. Yeah. And then,
I expected that it was going to be a sex club, and that the tickets were for sex of some kind. So that is actually, I think, cooler.
Yeah.
No, the tickets were exclusively for alcohol and drugs, which, interesting if that's your cup of tea.
If you win at skee ball, you get sex. That's what it takes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
God damn, dude.
It was a pretty good night. Good time.
Yeah.
And then that's like, it turns out, like, it kind of changed my opinion on Juggalos. They were pretty fucking cool. They were good people to hang out with, right? Like, you never really feel like you meet a bunch of Juggalos and you're like, oh, those are some people, and then they're like, nitrous balloon. You're like, okay,
you know what?
Why not?
Nitrous balloon.
Yeah, winning Juggalo Rome. I mean, fuck it. Huh?
Yeah, exactly.
So, Alana, as someone who, like I said, I've never played a Metal Gear Solid game.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to try to summarize the story of Metal Gear,
we don't have time.
In as little words as possible, how would you do it?
The entire franchise or just that specific game?
I mean, either is difficult. Espionage is what I would say in as short as possible. Espionage and betrayal would be it. But, like, I mean, that game specifically has, like, unicorns. You can lift people up with balloons and take them to another base. It's just a nightmare. But the big thing about, like, why that tweet occurred is because the game doesn't really have an ending. The story is kind of nonsense anyway, but it doesn't have a proper ending because they basically... Konami and Kojima had problems, I guess, so the story was unfinished, and it's pretty clear that it shipped unfinished. So that's when he went and obviously made Kojima Productions and made a game that still doesn't really make that much sense, even though he did finish Death Stranding. And he was never going to get Silent Hill. It's devastating.
If I remember, the ending for the Phantom Pain, doesn't it, like, it ends and then it's like part 2. You're like, wait, what? And then it like keeps going.
Yeah, it has like an ending that's probably like 3/4 of the way through.
Right.
And then it kind of keeps going, which I think, and I'm not positive if this is correct, but I think that the part after that Kojima didn't write. But it's just
that actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
it makes slightly more sense. But it's still a great game. Like, I stand by that. That game is fantastic. It's got a bunch of 10s.
You would like it.
You can weaponize horse shit in that game.
Yeah, just for like shit like that. Yeah, you can knock people out and then lift them to your base in just this weird balloon thing. It's awesome.
So could a game have, to you personally, like anyone here, have really like good enough gameplay that the story is like totally doesn't affect you at all? Like, or are you someone who needs that balance?
Oh yeah.
No, I'm gameplay first all the time. Like, gameplay first. I like level design. That's super important to me. A story can be total nonsense and I'll probably still enjoy it. It doesn't really matter as much. It's harder to do the other way around. A good story can't be saved by bad gameplay.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Like there's some good stories where I'm like, yeah, I'll put up with it, but the gameplay really is important.
Sam, are you in agreement?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I can think of a bunch of games that have fucking terrible stories, but I'll still play the hell out of them because they're great games. Like, yeah.
I'm shiny hunting right now.
Example.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're so shiny hunting guy. You came up with a good example of Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts is always what I hear of. Like,
yeah,
the story is insane.
Right? My issue with you saying Kingdom Hearts 3 though is that I would argue against the gameplay being super good. Because I said the word masterpiece, I think.
I would probably as well, but I was like, he's not going to believe that tweet was about Kingdom Hearts 2. That's for damn sure.
Right before Twitter. Before Twitter.
Yeah.
All right, well, guys, that's going to do it for Chump Change. Thank you very much for coming by and talking about those stories, everyone. And if you're watching at home, thank you for being a first member. We appreciate it. There will be another Chump Change next week that you can tune in for. And don't worry, our voting system will be fixed. I'm just saying that. I don't actually know, but it probably will be. So you can tune in. Eric can take the night off. And we'll have another brand new episode for you. Thanks again. And we'll see you next week, everyone.